Hey, this is Chelsea,
And this is Scott,
and we are.
the Gallivanting Gamers. And today we were talking about one of our favorite games of all time, Ninja Gaiden. We'll be talking about all three of the Nintendo Ninja Gaiden trilogy.
Ninja Gaiden?
Ninja Gaiden. You're right. Ninja Gaiden. Hi!
Has there ever been an official answer on that? No, I think about it.
I think
Is
because
it
of
Ninja Gaiden?
I think because of the wizard, we're going to call it Gaiden.
I'm good with that. So, we love the original Ninja Gaiden trilogy. Probably three of the best NES games of all time.
Yeah, they're up there with the Castlevania trilogy. These two are really great.
Very similar.
Which you'll see in a video right over there. So.
But yeah, man, Ninja Gaiden, these games are ridiculously good. And it's kind of like every element comes together to make this perfect bruise. It's just like perfect gameplay thing.
So as far as the gameplay goes, it's really fast-paced, high-stakes gameplay, which has been said a million times about this game, but it's true. Every pixel counts. You're jumping, you're dodging things, you're slashing everything with your sword. One fascinating detail about all of the Ninja Gaidens is most of the regular enemies die in one hit. So the game is designed to just slice through it and keep moving. There are a couple enemies that
like
take...
a ninja.
Yeah, there are a couple enemies that take 2 or 3 hits, but most of them you can just like slash, jump away, climb a wall, slash, jump, keep going.
The whole time this is going on, you have the most hyped up music ever.
Yeah, this has all 3 of the games. Even the third, which is our least favorite, is still got a great music score, and it's still a really good game, you know. But yeah, the music score in this game is insane, and probably the biggest innovation that this game took that was a little bit different than some of the other ones around at the time is the integration of a full-length plot broken up with cutscenes between the levels. Now, cutscenes have been around for a little bit, but this is the first game to really incorporating them into this sort of theatrical way. It feels almost like you're watching a little story, a little movie, which is fascinating because Ninja Gaiden, the guy in the den, are Japanese for a little story. That's what that means.
Oh.
So it means ninja little story, or ninja little story, or a short story about a ninja, something to that effect. So that works really well with this game, and that's what it feels like in all 3 of them. So.
Yeah, I mean, you are going through these very hard levels, and it's all so you can earn that next chapter. You're like, okay, what's gonna happen next? You're in suspense and you want to know, and it's so exciting. Yeah, each cutscene is like your reward for all that hard work.
Yeah, and it's a trip to play, because on one hand you're kind of sweating, your adrenaline's pumping, you're going through this game quickly, and then you calm down to digest the plot. Then you get picked back up again by playing the next level, and you calm down again to digest the next plot. This up and down, it is revealed through this game, is actually very addicting. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's a ninja it's obviously got this ninja martial arts thing going on, but there's also this film noir kind of a mystery every time, and then there, especially in 3, you also get these sci-fi elements, so it's kind of this, again, it's kind of a concoction of all these different things going on to just make you just on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, and it's definitely genre blending, and then there's a little element of a mythology and a little bit of a demonology that goes in with it. And the story's great too. It's the big bad villain of the show, the Guardia de Mu, known as Jackio, is trying to resurrect a demon that was once basically.
Charlie's demon.
Yeah, he's trying to resurrect a demon that got his ass whipped by the dragon, which your sword is made out of the fang of that dragon.
Pretty pretty cool. Pretty dope.
In the second game, they try to make a dark sword out of the bone of the demon, so they're playing with that a little bit. Really silly, really cheesy plot, but for a 12-year-old boy, I loved it back then.
And honestly, it feels pretty like grown up as far as NES games go. Anyway, like with this blood, and, it's like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's very high stakes, very like action packed, very like, oh, this almost feels like a grown ups game or like a really cool Big Brothers game. It's very interesting.
The game flow of the game is really weird too. I would say this about all of the Ninja Gaidens, but particularly my experience with 2. 2 was actually the first one I played. My grandmother bought that for me one day after school when we were at a grocery store. We saw one. I was like, wow, that looks cool, and we ended up getting it. It was on sale. I played Ninja Gaiden 2, and it was so fuckishly hard. So, it was so frustrating and so hard that I kept playing it, and it took me into the wee hours of the night. I must have went to bed at like 2 or 3. Didn't beat the game, was on the last level, had to go back a couple times. I didn't even realize it was the last level, but I just wanted to get through the game so desperately hard, but I couldn't actually do it in this particular night.
You're like, how does it end though?
Which was infuriating, which was frustrating. So I planned the next day, I'm in 7th grade, I planned the next day to come straight home after school and, get my snacks ready. And I told Grandma, Grandma, I gotta beat this one game. I have to make it happen tonight. She accepted that somehow. So I came home that night and focused on that game. But here's the weird thing. With how hard and how brutal this game and how frustrating it was, when I tried it again, I guess maybe refreshed or whatnot, when I came home at 3 o'clock, about, after school, and I popped in the game, I flew through it. Nothing touched me. Like, I did not get hit at all. Up until the end, I got screwed up a little bit by Jackio and everything, but to get to the point...
Not Jackio.
Yep. To get to the point where I gotten beat up so much the night before that it somehow was in my memory. It was hard to explain. And that's the way the first Ninja Gaiden is too. These Ninja Gaiden games will kick your butt.
They train you.
they train you, but they will kick your butt. But then you'll always be able to look like a gaming god after you've done it at least once, because you fly through them, you remember these things. And even in Ninja Gaiden 1, the infamous 6-2 section, where it's that with the blue background, the 6-2, and there's that one part where you have to jump, and then there's the guys flying, and the guys jumping up on the levers, and the eagle, and you have to slash a certain way, and one hit throws you off a cliff, and it's really hard. It's like the hardest screen in the first Ninja Gaiden. Once you do it once, you can almost do it every time afterwards. It is hard. So when people say Nintendo hard and that trains you up and you get used to, playing Nintendo hard, it's real. Like it develops your muscle memory and your hand-eye coordination so much that you can just fly through it.
And yeah, it's funny because as hard as these games are, and I'll be completely honest, I finished all 3 of these games, but only because I was doing it on a Retron, and I had all the cheat codes going. But I still had to do all that jumping, right? So give me that at least. I just wanted to see all the story. As hard as they are, you don't necessarily rage quit or be like, oh, this game is unnecessarily difficult. There's something about it that it earns that, and you're okay with that. And especially with the second one, each level switches up the gameplay in different ways that keeps you coming back. Okay, so there's one where the lightning keeps flashing and it goes dark light, and there's the other part where the wind blows you different ways.
Yeah, definitely a lot of added elements.
So, and of course you have the cutscenes, which you always want to know what's going to happen next. Just like Rio, you're like, what the? And so it earns that difficulty, and being able to do it, you really do feel like a badass ninja.
And we already talked about the music. One thing I have to say specifically about the second one is just how phenomenal the pixel art is in some of these games. Like, it can fool you. You almost think it's a 16-bit game at parts. This screen right here, where you're talking to Irene, the background with these satin-like looking purple curtains and the skeleton pillar thing is just phenomenal. You see demon statues, you see this statue here, you see all these different phenomenal...
I always love the mountains in these games.
The mountains and just the intricacy of the detail that they put in this game is really fascinating. One of my favorite parts, which is one that you don't like, is in the last level of Ninja Gaiden 2, the background is like a wall of like beating hearts, and it's
just pretty creepy.
Yeah. And what's really
supposed to be.
And what's really fascinating about that level, and I could be wrong about this, I probably am, but I know in that particular level, which you might die a lot. I did when I first tried. It recycles different songs. That level actually is one of the few levels in the game that doesn't have its own song. It uses different songs from earlier on in the game, and it seems like whatever song they're using seems to affect the rhythm of which the hearts are beating. I don't know if that's true, but I believe that's kind of how it... Because I felt like...
Comment below, is that all in Scott's head?
It might all be in my head, but it seemed like when it's playing the one song when he's like running, it's beating faster. You know, it's maybe it's listening. I don't know. And there was also the background with the waterfall and like the little eyes poking out. Yeah. Ninja Gaiden 3 is probably our least favorite. I know you felt like they didn't need to necessarily follow up with Foster, but I still feel like it earns a place in the trilogy. I do think it is a good game.
It's still a Ninja Gaiden game. It's still good.
Yeah.
It gets a little in the weeds for me with like the spaceship and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
But it's still good.
Yeah, definitely. And even in that one, when Clancy turns into the demon thing he turns into is really phenomenal. Even when before that, when his skin turns to that bluish color, it's creepy looking, you know. So.
These games, they make you go quite a few times.
Make you go, what the?
What the?
Mm-hmm.
What the? Definitely all over the place. It demands all your attention, and it will whip you into shape.
Make you fucking tigers. We love James Wolfe, the angry video
the nerd now?
Well, so did you.
Did I?
Whip him into shape.
Oh yeah.
So here's the thing. Obviously, we love the angry video game nerd, James Wolfe. He's one of our favorite people. So if he ever gets to see this, thank you for the last, decade and a half.
You're amazing, dude.
Yeah. But other than that, if you did like what we had to say about Ninja Gaiden, if you have anything else to add, anything that we've forgotten, let us know in the comments. Go ahead and slash the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell. Beat the shit out of the bell. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.